Christianity has given a lot of people hope, community, purpose, and a relationship with God. But it has also been represented by people who are judgmental, hypocritical, controlling, or simply unwilling to understand others. And for disabled people, deaf people, and families with special needs, church can either become one of the most welcoming places in their life, or one more place where they are treated like a problem to solve. So today, I'm reviewing Christianity from my perspective as someone who is hard of hearing, someone involved in special needs ministry, and someone who hoped to one day open a religious or Christian school for students with disabilities. This is not me claiming every Christian is bad. It is not me attacking God, Jesus, or the Bible. It is an honest look at what Christianity gets right, where Christians often get wrong, and what churches need to improve if they want to truly live out what they preach. Again, I've been Christian since I was young. I love the Bible. I trust it. Churches, I don't often trust as much because they are more so institutes. They're businesses, if you will. Welcome to my channel, where we talk about disabilities, special education, inclusion, and building better communities. I am not a pastor, theologian, or a perfect representative of Christianity. I am still learning. I have taken my faith very seriously, but still wonder where I fit in. I have been around Christianity. I have volunteered in a church, special needs class, for 6 years now, and I have seen both the good side of church and some of the problems people talk about online. So this video is my honest review. What Christianity gets right. At its best, Christianity teaches that every person has value because they are made in God's image. That should include people with disabilities. It should include people who communicate differently, learn differently, need extra support, use mobility devices, have hearing loss, or cannot participate in church in the usual way. The Bible does not say that someone has less value because they need help. One of the strongest ideas in Christianity is that people are not supposed to be valued based on popularity, intelligence, money, appearance, or independence. That matters to me because society is often measured people by what they can do. Can they work? Can they speak clearly? Can they act normal? Can they keep up? But a Christian view should say that a person has value before they prove anything. That differs between denomination, and that is what I am being critical of. Another thing Christianity gets right is community. A healthy church can give people friendships, support, mentors, service opportunities, and a place to belong. I've had mostly positive experiences through church and special needs ministry. That is part of why I got interested in special education and disabilities in the first place. This channel would not exist without my church. When a church is doing this well, it does not just say, we welcome everyone. It actually makes room for everyone. Jesus and disability. When people talk about Jesus and disability, they often immediately go to the healing stories. For example, in Mark chapter 7, Jesus meets a deaf man with mutism, a speech difficulty. The passage says Jesus took him away from the crowd privately before healing him. The word Jesus says in that story is Ephatha, an Aramaic word meaning be opened. That story matters but it can also be handled badly. Some Christians read healing stories and come away from the idea that every disabled person must be healed. That disability always means something is spiritually wrong, or that a person who is not healed simply did not have enough faith. I do not think that is a respectful or healthy way even to treat disabled people. A disabled person is not a broken object. They are not a church project. They are not a before and after story waiting to happen. Jesus showed compassion and personal attention. He did not use people's struggles to make himself look important, though he is important. And Christians should be careful not to use someone's disability as a dramatic testimony without respecting that person's actual life, choices, and dignity. What many Christians get wrong. This is where I need to be direct. Biggest issue is that many Christians and people in general say that they believe every person is valuable. Every person has value. But then treat disabled people like they are only valuable or have value when they are inspirational, healed, quiet, grateful, or easy to manage. That's not inclusion. Here are a few things churches often kind of get wrong, and people in general. First, treating disabled people as charity projects. Helping someone is good. Serving people is good. But if the only time a church notices disabled people is when it wants a feel-good service project, something is wrong. Disabled people should be members of the community, not props for other people to feel compassionate. Second, assuming disability always needs to be fixed. It is okay to pray for people, but prayer should never become pressure. Do not tell someone they would be healed if they had more faith. Do not assume that a parent caused a child's disabilities. Do not make someone feel guilty for using medical care, therapy, a hearing aid, AAC, or other support. Third, accessibility is often treated as optional. If a church has stairs but no ramp, no captions, no interpreter, no quiet area, no trained volunteers, and no plan for students who need support, then it's not fully prepared to say everyone is welcome. A church may have good intentions, but good intentions do not replace access. Fourth, people are excluded from children's ministry or youth ministry because adults are not trained. Sometimes volunteers are nervous. Sometimes they do not know what to do during a meltdown, sensory overload, communication difficulty, or behavior challenge. But the answer should not be automatically be exclusion. The answer should be training, planning, listening to families, and building a support system. What media gets wrong. Online Christianity is often shown in two extreme ways. One version says Christians are all hateful hypocrites. The other version says Christians are always kind, united, and doing everything right. Neither is accurate. There are Christians in churches doing incredible work, supporting families, serving people with disabilities, feeding communities, mentoring young people, and trying to live out their faith. There are also Christians who use religion to judge people, control people, shame people, or avoid accountability. The important thing is not pretending the bad examples don't exist, but faith should be strong enough to handle honest criticism. If Christians believe they are called to love people, then they should be willing to ask, are we actually doing that? My review. So, what is my review of Christianity? I think Christianity itself has a powerful core message. Love God, love your neighbor, care for people who are ignored. Do not judge people by their outward appearance. and treat people as valuable. Those are good principles. But the people representing Christianity can make it hard for others to see that message. Sometimes Christians act more like gatekeepers than servants. Sometimes churches care more about looking successful than being accessible. Sometimes people talk about love but do not listen to disabled people, deaf people, parents, or caregivers. My conclusion is this: Christianity is good. Jesus' teachings are good. But Christians have a responsibility to represent those teachings better. And if a church says it loves everyone, it needs to ask whether disabled people can actually participate, lead, learn, worship, and communicate, and belong there. What I hope to do. My experience in special needs ministry is one reason I am interested in special education, disability advocacy, research, and eventually publishing researches and writing books. One of my long-term goals is to open a Christian school for students with disabilities and special educational needs. Not a place that treats students like problems, a place that sees students as people with strengths, interests, goals, faith, dignity, and a future. I want to keep learning what true inclusion looks like, not just in schools, but in churches and communities too. If you are a Christian, I want you to think about your church. Could a deaf person follow the service without struggling? Could an autistic child have a safe place when they are overwhelmed? Could a parent trust their child to be treated with dignity? Could a person with a disability serve, lead, make friends, and be known as more than their diagnosis? If that answer is no, that does not have to be the end of that story, though. It can be the beginning of improvement. If you are disabled, deaf, a parent, a volunteer, a church leader, or someone who had a complicated experience with Christianity, I would like to hear your perspective in the comments. What has your experience been like? And if you want more videos about disability, special education, faith, inclusion, and research, and building better communities, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. It has been a pleasure to serve.